Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can form online quiz for your students. And in order to do that, there are several online tools that you can use to form online quizzes for your students. But in this particular tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to the Google Form. And the Google Form is a product of the Google company. And for that matter, in order to access the Google Form, you will need a Google account or Gmail account, but they are the same. So when you have that already, make sure that you are connected to the internet, and then just as the name implies, it's an online form and you need internet connectivity. So you try as much as possible to get a Google account, and then you log into your browser just as I have done. So I've logged into my browser, and when you come here, you go to the Google Apps menu, and then click on it. You will see several apps by the Google company. You look through among them and locate your forms. So this is the form. I've clicked on it. Great. So this is the Google Form platform. And here we have several templates. Templates like contact information, RSVP, party invitation, t-shirt sign up, and others. We are going to create an online quiz for our students. So we will look at starting a new one by clicking on a blank. Good. So the form is ready for us to start working with it. Now let me take you through a few things here. These are the questions, and then this column will show you the responses. For now we have 0 responses because our form is not even ready and no one has also responded to it. And then the settings. It is very, very important that you come and do this setting before you start working on your Google Form. So when you come to the settings, one thing that I want you to pay attention to is this. Make this a quiz. Make this a quiz. So we turn that one on. Good. And that has also brought us additional settings under the make this a quiz setting. So let's just spend some few minutes and then go through and see what is there. So release marks. What is the timing? How do you want to release your marks to the students or to a student after he or she has responded to your questions? Is it immediately after the submission, or you want to review and then later on you send it to your students? If you want your students to get immediate feedback, then you have to make sure that you have the first one checked or ticked. Then we have respondent settings. Missed questions. Respondents can see which questions were answered incorrectly. It has been turned on. Correct answers. Respondents can see correct answers after grades are released. That one too is also turned on. Point values. If you want respondents to see the total points and points received for each question. Now, when you come to the default question point value, so this point value for each of the questions currently is set at 0. You can leave it like this so that when you go to your questions area, after each question you decide the point value, the mark that you want to give to each of the questions. If not, if you are planning of having just one or a particular mark for all the questions, then you can do the setting here. So for instance, we put 1 here as our point value. when we do this, it means that all our questions are going to carry a mark of 1 for correct. Good. Now the responses. How are responses collected and protected? Do you want to collect their email address and a whole lot? And one thing that you also have to look at is require sign in here. That is, if you want to limit the response to one person at a time. In this case, no one person can answer more than once. So if you want to do that, you can turn this one on. Great. And then there are some other settings that if time permits you, you can go through it and then you do your settings. Now that we have turned this on to make it a quiz, we can go back to our questions and start forming our questions. Now, what's the title of your quiz? Let's say this is quiz 1. Quiz 1. Great. So you go and then click on this and then make sure that it has the title. So now this is our quiz. Form description. Do you have any instruction to give to your students pertaining to what they are going to do? Let's assume we have this. Answer all questions in this section. Great. Then let's add something like all questions carrying equal marks. Great. So this is our instruction. So our first question, for instance, which of the following is a fruit? No. Now when you come to this side, here you choose the nature of the possible answers, how you want the orientation of your possible answers that you are going to give to them. And if you have an open-ended question, you will be compelled to choose either short answer or paragraph. And then if you have a close-ended type, you are to use the multiple choice. That is the radio button we see here. Checklists or checkboxes will allow respondents to check several boxes. And then we have the drop down, which will also drop down if you have several or multiple answers that you want your students to choose from. You can turn on the drop down and then they'll have the option to do that, so that when they click on it, there'll be a drop down menu which contains the answers which you want them to choose from. We want to go by the multiple choice for this type of question. So we have mango, we have onion, then we have oil. Great. So these are our possible answers. Now we are asked to add the answer key. Which of them is the correct answer? So we will select the correct answer here. That does not mean that when your questions are sent to your respondents or your students, they are also going to have it appeared. No. But you are telling the form, the system, that if a student chooses this particular answer, mark him or her correct. So we are going to choose. So you click on it and then you select which of these do you think is the answer? Which of the following is a fruit? So we say mango. So mango has been selected as our answer. And for that matter, if a student chooses mango, he's going to be marked correct. And what is the point value that we want to allocate to this particular answer? Is it 1? Is it 2? So depending on the value that you want to give, let's give 1 to this particular one. Now, add answer feedback. This option too could also be of use to you, that is, if you wish. If a student chooses a question, an answer to a question, and the person is correct, what feedback do you want to give to the person? And if the person gets it correct, what feedback do you want the person to get? So we can add some feedbacks to it. So incorrect answers, let's say the feedback is going to be try, or let's say better luck next time. Good. If the answer is correct, let's say our feedback is going to be great. Keep it up. Give it up. Then we save it. So these are our feedbacks to our answers, whether correct or incorrect. Great. Now we have finished assigning points, and then we have finished choosing the correct answer. So let's click on done and go to our question. So our question 1 is ready. So if you look at it, you will see that the point value here is now 1. It's not 0 again. So this question is going for 1 mark. So if a student answers this question correctly, that particular student is going to get a mark for this. Now when you come down here, we have this button which is turned off, required. Now if you want to make it compulsory, all questions to the students, such that if a student is not or does not attempt a particular question, he cannot submit or she cannot submit, then you have to turn this one on to make it required. Good. It is turned on. What this means is that until a student responds to this particular question, his work is not done yet. Good. So if you want to add the next question, what you do is that you come and then you click on this plus sign and say add question. Add question. Great. So add question, and then we can say that Kofi is it a male or female? Well, let's make it John. Let's make it John. Is John a male or female? John is a. Good. So we have male, we have female. And then our point value is 1. Our point value is 1. Let's look at our answer key. So our answer key, we put male, and then we add our feedback. If it is incorrect, then you write your incorrect there. Let's say better luck next time. Better luck next time. And then if it is correct, great, keep it up. And then you save. Save, and then you click on done. Great. And then you have to also turn this one to on to make it required. So all our questions are required, and that our students are supposed to attend to all of them. There are other settings or other questions So if you want to add an image, this is what you can do to it. For instance, you go to add question, and then you want to ask a question about an image. You want them to identify an image. So you click on add, and then you locate where your image is. So if you have some images already, you drag them onto it. If you want to search them from online, you can use any of them. So let's go to Google Images, and then let's say football. Great. Let's choose the first one, football, and then we insert. The image is, so let's try a different image, and then we go to this. Great. This is great. So our question to this image could be identify this image. So you can center it. You can also send it to the left. You can change the image, and then you can also remove the image. So this is how you can bring in your image into your question. Good. So with this, let's go to the preview and see how our question is going to look like, or our quiz is going to look like. And the preview is just this human eye you see here, the icon of human eye. You click on it, and then this will give us a preview of how our question is going to look like. Great. So here you see our title, and then our instruction, which says that students are supposed to answer all questions in this section, and all questions carries equal marks. And our first question is, which of the following is a fruit? Then the second question is, John is a, we have male, and then we have female. And then we have the next option. So I think we are supposed to add a question to this. So identify this image. So we say football, say apple, and then our answer key is football, and then let's click on done. We go back to, and then we choose, let's go back to the preview. Great. So this is how our questions are looking like now. So here you could see the point values attached to each of the questions, with these red stars attached to each of the questions, which indicates required, making it compulsory for a student to answer, or else this student cannot submit this question. So this is the preview, and then the student can choose among any of them. So let's assume the student chooses mango, and then chooses female, and chooses apple for this, and submits. Great. So the student has submitted. And he can view his or her score by clicking on this. So the total score here is 2 over 3. It means that out of the 3 questions, the student got 2. And these were those that the student got correct. So the first one, which of the following is a fruit? Student chose mango. And is correct, and the feedback is great. Keep it up. Then the second one is wrong. John is a male. So the student is wrong here, and the feedback is better luck next time. And the correct answer has been indicated. So the student knows which of them is the correct answer, and then the third one in that order. So this one will give the student an immediate feedback once he or she submits or clicks on the submit button. Now, the quiz master. To the quiz master, when you come to your responses, now you've seen 1 attached to your responses. 1, meaning you have received 1 response. 1 response. And this is the breakdown of the responses. That's the statistics. So here you have 1 person who has responded, and you know which of them that the student got correct and got wrong, and how to do your analysis. At the end of the day, you will be able to know which particular questions that students were able to get or score most, and which of them they were able to score least. So you will get all your statistics here at your responses. Great. Now, one thing that you should also know how to do is how to send your questions to your respondents or your students. Assuming you have a platform, a WhatsApp platform, or you want to send it to their emails and the rest. Now, this is the send. After you have finished forming your questions, this is the send button, so you click on the send. And then at the send form, you have some settings to do. The first one is send via mail. If you are sending through mail, then it means that you have to input their emails or the emails of all the students or the student to which this question is being sent. So you type the person's email here, and then ask so at gmail.com, and then you are done. If you have a next one, you type it in that order. Great. And then you can also send a link. You can generate a link, and you click on this. This is a URL link that you can send to your students on any platform like WhatsApp, like Telegram, like any platform that you want to, or you can even send it to them directly as text messages. Now, the URL link is very long, but you can shorten it by checking this checkbox, which is shorten URL. And your URL has been shortened, and you can just copy it by clicking on the copy, and it is copied. So you go to whichever platform that you want to send the questions to and go and paste it there, and your students are good to go. Thank you so much for your time, and we will continue some other time with more advanced features of the Google form. Do enjoy your day.